What if the grandest symbol of Russian power just admitted defeat without saying a single word? The scaled-down 2026 Victory Day parade was the moment the mask finally slipped. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, zero heavy hardware appeared on Red Square. The Defense Ministry blamed the current operational situation caused by Ukrainian drone swarms. Putin equated the Ukraine war to the Great Patriotic War against the Nazis during his speech. He denounced NATO aggression while vowing that victory will always be ours. Yet he quietly slipped in a phrase suggesting the entire matter is coming to an end. This rhetorical whiplash was engineered to project strength while revealing exhaustion. A Trump-brokered 3-day ceasefire was rushed into place just before the parade. Both sides accused violations within hours, but it bought Putin critical breathing room. Satellite imagery and OSINT reports from the past 12 months show Russian tank losses exceeding 3,000 vehicles. Factories are now cannibalizing ancient T-62 museum pieces. Modern T-90 and advanced T-72 models have largely vanished from their inventory. Russia is running on empty, with refurbished junk keeping the war machine alive. North Korean troops marched openly beside Russian cadets in a shocking public admission of dependency. This revealed Putin's once invincible army now imports foreign cannon fodder desperately. Leading experts from CSIS and the IISS documented catastrophic armored losses in their recent reports. Russia has suffered over 14,000 armored vehicles destroyed or damaged. Ukrainian GUR intelligence confirms production lines are maxed out on low-quality refurbished equipment only. Western sanctions bite deep into the critical components Russia needs. But the real story is not what was missing from Red Square this year. It is what the Kremlin has been desperately hiding from the world for 18 months. Japanese TBS artificial intelligence analysis reveals only 40 to 53% facial match. Recent Putin appearances show troubling earlobes, chin, and gait anomalies compared to before. Ukrainian intelligence leaks have named the specific body doubles now being used regularly. Major discrepancies between 2025 and current parade footage are impossible to ignore. Financial Times investigations exposed Putin's extended bunker lifestyle driven by assassination paranoia. He spends weeks in secure facilities while staff are banned from direct approach. Parade security reached absurd theater levels with partial internet blackouts and full airport closures. Mobile networks faced heavy restrictions while rooftop snipers scanned every possible threat. All this extreme protection happened while an official ceasefire was supposedly active. It proves the regime does not trust its own capital even on Victory Day. Look at the undeniable historical pattern of recent Victory Day parades. From 2022 isolation to 2026 total capitulation, this decline was engineered. Oligarch whispers and repeated general staff purges between 2024 and now signal elite panic. Michael McFaul's viral photo of a weary Putin tells the real story. The world focused on the horrific toll of over 500,000 casualties. This conflict has drained Russia of blood resources and its claimed military supremacy. They told you this event was a parade of unshakable strength. We are here to prove it became a funeral procession for the myth of Russian supremacy. The paranoid Putin thesis from The Sun and ex-MI6 leadership claims body doubles protect him. The real man may be gravely ill or already compromised internally right now. Slow-motion parade footage clearly shows security rushing during the middle of his speech. This fuels theories that body doubles were essential for this high-risk public appearance. Stay with me because what comes next has been buried by every mainstream outlet. These explosive details have been ignored for the past 18 months straight, because the missing heavy hardware was not the only absence on Red Square. The truth itself has been systematically erased from the public narrative for far too long. Let's reconstruct the explosive timeline of the past 18 months that lays bare how Russia's military machine was quietly gutted from within, completely and systematically. July 2025, Novaya Gazeta published shocking counts of warehouses running on empty, with only 251 good-condition tanks left nationwide. November 2025, ISW analysis proved drone wall vulnerabilities through successful fog exploitation assaults that exposed major weaknesses in Russian defenses forever. Reuters investigations exposed the grim production reality with new explosives factories built yet plagued by severe labor shortages, wage cuts, and component starvation, forcing quantity over quality. The hidden agenda stands exposed as the Kremlin's proceeding according to plan propaganda clashes with internal documents showing 2025 defense output already reversing sharply. Oligarchs were quietly shifting assets offshore while the public was fed the victory narrative through relentless state media campaigns every single day without pause. NATO's shadow role becomes undeniable because Putin's speech blamed them, yet the scaled parade proves Western sanctions and Ukrainian strikes disarmed Russia on its own ground. Body double forensics dive deep with ear shape analysis, forehead wrinkle mapping, and gait biometrics from 2024 to 2026 appearances revealing anomalies. Belarusian carpenter Yevgeny Vasilyevich was named in leaks as surviving a poison attempt originally meant for Putin himself, according to reliable intelligence sources. The assassination fear matrix includes Ukrainian drone strikes on Putin's residence reported throughout 2025, along with Financial Times bunker intelligence details. Parade emergency protocols looked exactly like a mid-speech evacuation during the event, raising serious questions about the level of internal paranoia involved. Cover-up mechanics forced state media to use only Russian footage, while foreign press was locked out of the best camera angles deliberately. Kremlin spokesman Peskov's phrase, "to minimize terrorist risks," was simply a euphemism for "we cannot protect the capital even on this sacred day." The manpower conspiracy involves North Korean troops, plus prison recruits and contract soldiers from poor regions, with elite units now completely hollowed out. 2025 mobilization waves were hidden by rebranding desperate conscripts as volunteers to mask the true scale of the manpower crisis completely. The economic underbelly shows defense spending at over 8% of GDP, yet inflation, factory fires, and scientist defections plague the system relentlessly. Crypto oligarchs and sanctioned banks moved money offshore in parallel, while the parade projected full strength to the watching world every single moment. Expert opinion from the Atlantic Council, Rusi, and former CIA analyst concludes Russia faces strategic exhaustion, not collapse, with victory redefined as mere survival. The sinister revelation is that the parade was never about 1945, but a live stress test of regime control in wartime that failed publicly. The Trump ceasefire back channel was announced on Friday and accepted by both sides, yet immediate violations followed within hours of the deal. Its real purpose was to buy time for a backroom prisoner swap and signal to Putin that Washington now controls the tempo completely. Zelensky's mocking decree declared Red Square off-limits for Ukrainian strikes during the parade as a masterpiece of psychological warfare exposing vulnerability. They didn't just hide the tanks from the world, they hid the Endgame itself from the public for far too long with this calculated move. And now we're going to prove the next 6 months were scripted years ago as the Endgame unfolds exactly as predicted with terrifying accuracy right now. The shocking master plan reveal connects the deliberate equipment attrition pattern from 2024 to 2026 that the Kremlin always intended strategically. They traded those battlefield losses for a frozen conflict on favorable terms, while the parade signaled that phase 1 of the bluff is over now. Within 90 days, another unilateral ceasefire will expand into formal talks brokered by Trump 2.0, with Putin claiming denazification achieved without strategic concession. An elite purge 2.0 will strike by September 2026 as hardliners are removed under a corruption cover to eliminate all opposition quietly. Body double usage will spike dramatically as the real Putin retreats permanently to a secure dacha for the foreseeable future ahead without any major public appearances. The Ukrainian drone campaign escalates to Moscow suburbs by July, with one successful strike on a symbolic target forcing Putin to declare martial law light immediately. Putin declares martial law light to consolidate power while blaming NATO for the inevitable escalation in the capital area right away without hesitation or delay. Leaked 2025 OSW analysis and Financial Times sources show the Kremlin wargamed this parade humiliation as the pivot moment perfectly in advance. The sinister cover-up climax reveals that the 18-month equipment shortage was exaggerated in Western media to mask the real endgame completely from view. Russia planned to bleed Ukraine dry, exhaust Western treasuries, then freeze lines where they stand, while claiming a historic victory overall in the end. The dark conspiracy peak exposes the body double network activated because the original Putin's health collapsed in late 2024, suddenly without warning. The current figure is a composite controlled by Siloviki, who decided the war must end on their terms without any delay at all right now. Trump's ceasefire initiative, North Korean involvement, and Chinese quiet financing form pieces of a multipolar reset unfolding right before our eyes today completely. Russia survives as a weakened junior partner to Beijing, while the West declares mission accomplished in public statements proudly and without any question. This is not speculation, because every data point from the last 18 months points here without any doubt remaining today at all.
Share this video before it gets memory holed by the powers that control the narrative completely around us every single day now. Slow motion parade footage placed side by side with 2022 full power images reveals the shocking decline clearly now to everyone watching. They told you Russia was winning. The empty red square just proved they were lying to the entire world shamelessly for years on end. By December 2026, a formal armistice will be signed in a neutral venue, with Putin or his double announcing complete success publicly. The special military operation is successfully concluded as frozen conflict becomes the new normal, while both sides rearm for round two secretly. The real victims number hundreds of thousands dead, with economies shattered for a handful of oligarchs and Siloviki to preserve power forever. They sacrificed the myth they spent decades building in order to maintain control at any cost imaginable now, without any regret. History will record May 9, 2026, not as Victory Day, but as the day though the empire blinked publicly forever in history. The scaled parade was never a sign of weakness, but the carefully staged climax of a long con designed perfectly in advance to fool everyone completely.